Gary Wilson, Master of Coral Discoverer. Coral Adventurer, so the new ship for the company, for Coral Expeditions. It's going to be the biggest ship in the fleet, but still a small expedition cruise ship. 120 guests and 90 metres in length, being built in Vung Tau in Vietnam. So Coral Adventure, I think, will be unique amongst expedition cruise ships. There's being a lot built in the next 5 or 6 years, but most of them are still quite large ships, well over 200 guests, where we've still gone for the low end of the market, 120 passengers aboard. So she's purpose built for us, shallow draft, but a comfortable ship, and we'll still be able to get into all the small places that we go to with Coral Expeditions. So we've taken a lot of the ideas that work well with our other ships, especially this one with Coral Discoverer. So I think the jewel in the crown is the Explorer, the tenders, the be able to, for the passengers to be able to walk on and off the Explorer and to launch directly into the water in sort of comfort and speed is a critical thing. In the Coral Adventurer, some of the new facilities for the guests, well, there'll be a gym for those that we haven't tied out on the excursions. They'll be able to work off a bit of steam in the gym. More room, slightly bigger ship, so improved conditions in the lounge for the talks and lectures and so on. Beautiful big dining room, which will be really nice. Open plan galley, so they'll be able to see in and watch the action in the galley, so that'll be important. Balconies on most of the cabins, so that's a big improvement over our current ships. So that's just some of the features, and we retain the open bridge policy, which is a big plus. So the passengers will still be able to come up to the bridge to watch all the action up there. The new destinations that we're looking at to expand more into Indonesia, and I think that's going to be the really exciting trips. We're already doing the Spice Islands, Halmahera, Raja Ampat up into Chandawashi Bay. We've already got a trip through Indonesia, through Nusa Tenggara and the islands up to Singapore, between Singapore and Durham, but we're going to expand on those trips. So Sulawesi is the next big adventure up in Indonesia. Really looking forward to that. There's going to be some great trips up there. More into the Spice Islands as well, and more into West Papua. And there'll be some really interesting trips. The big one, of course, is the Australian circumnavigation in 2020. I'm pretty excited about that one. That's going to be a great trip. So the plan is the Australian circumnavigation will be a 60-day voyage, broken into a number of different legs, and it'll start in Darwin at the end of our Kimberley season. And so Darwin to Darwin, right around the country, 60 days, visiting 35 sites of maritime history. And the theme is going to be maritime history, and there's a few links with that. First of all, it'll be the 250th anniversary of Cook's voyage with Endeavour along the east coast. It will also be the 200th anniversary of Philip Parker King's voyage with the Mermaid along the Kimberley coast, and that's a big part of what we do on the Kimberley, is following some of his routes along there. It's also the 200th anniversary of the death of Sir Joseph Banks, and there's going to be a big expo in Sydney, a big botany expo, as part of his sort of legacy over the last 200 years. And so we're going to sort of carry that theme with us as well. And probably the most important of all, it's the 35th anniversary of Coral Expeditions, formerly Coral Princess Cruises. So we've tied all those themes together, and the circumnavigation in 2020 is going to be a maritime history theme. So we're going to have 35 sites around the Australian coast to link with our 35 years of operation, and carrying the theme of Cook and King and Banks and many others. So it's the whole range of Australian maritime history, right from the earliest days of the Aboriginal people coming down here, the Macassans, right through those early European explorers, through to World War I, World War II, and even to modern history. Some of the early Aboriginal and Macassan sites up in the north of the country will be of great interest. Obviously, those that are interested in Cook and the east coast, the sites there, Endeavour Reef, Cooktown and so on, we'll be visiting those. Down in Tasmania, some sites there from the early exploration days there. Those interested in the two world wars, in fact, will go to Albany for the sailing of the Anzac convoy in 1914, and I plan to stop the ship over the top of HMAS Sydney. We'll have a little service there after her loss with the Cormoran in the 1940s in World War II. Travelling by land and sea, it's two very, very different perspectives. Completely different feel, a different way of seeing it, and the guests aboard will see the coastline like the ancient mariners saw it, and that's not something that most people will get a chance to do. I hope to take the ship along, for instance, along the great cliffs in the Great Australian Bight. That's something you cannot see by land. So it's going to be a view that you just can't see, and very few people will ever get to see. And being an expedition cruise ship, being small, we'll be able to get into the small places to see those spots. Some of the wildlife that we are likely to see on the circumnavigation, whales on the east and west coast at that time of year, especially down the west coast at the start. We'll be probably following some of the humpbacks south, so there's every chance of seeing those. Of course, dolphins and that you'll see everywhere. Along the south coast, plenty of seal colonies as well, and some of the seabird rookeries along the south coast in particular. We'll be able to visit those as well.